All right. Welcome everybody to the Friday night Mouth of Madness live stream. Sorry about that. I had some technical issues here, so sorry about that. Just being a boomer, as you probably are used to by now. But we're live finally. We are live. Everything is set. So let's get right into it. Welcome to the Friday night Mouth of Madness live stream. This is something that I hope I'm going to do every Friday night, and I hope you enjoy it. Feel free to join in the chat. Oh yeah, let me just put the chat up real quick, just so I don't miss anything that you say. But today we have a full show for you guys. Last time I went kind of spur of the moment, and today I did a little research to see what could be interesting topics to talk about today. So here's what's in store for tonight. Oh, and by the way, I'm sorry if you hear the dogs outside. They're going crazy tonight sometimes. So if you hear some barking, I promise you, it's not me. It is not me. So yeah. So we got a full show tonight. We are going to talk, as you can see from the thumbnail, we are going to be talking about the new season of Cobra Kai. Season 4 has some surprises. I haven't watched anything of Season 4. I've watched everything up until Season 3, but nothing from Season 4, so I'm looking forward to it. I'm actually enjoying the series pretty much. I think it's a solid one, but we'll talk about that later. Feel free to leave some notes in the chat so I can go over any questions you might have or comments. And we're also going to talk about the Spiderman rumors or news about the upcoming No Way Home Spider-Man. And also we're going to go over some of the career of the great late Christopher Lee, if memory serves, and I think memory serves because I researched it this afternoon. He would have had a birthday right around now. And also we are going to see, as you can see in the little crystal ball, Saruman's crystal ball, you see that we're going to go a little bit into the UFO events of late. So let's get right into it. First and foremost, there we go. First and foremost, I want to welcome everybody who joined, or actually everybody who became a new subscriber. Welcome to the new subscribers, and I'm glad you were here. Fortunately, this is kind of the good things about being a small channel, is that I can enjoy seeing the number of subscribers coming up one by one and welcoming you individually. This is something that doesn't happen with the bigger channels. I think they pretty much just see it going up and down all the time. I think you kind of lose touch with your audience, and I'm glad that. I hope that doesn't happen. I hope that this channel grows, but I hope it doesn't happen. It doesn't come to a point where I lose touch with the audience, because this is why I do this, to get in touch with everybody, and this is why I do the live streams as well. So welcome to the new subscribers. My latest upload, the rant here about Star Wars and J.J. Abrams. If you haven't watched it, I would really, really like it if you did, and tell me in the comments what you think about this. Basically what happens is I don't really get that upset as I sound in the video about these things, about these shenanigans going on behind the scenes with film production companies these days. But I don't get that upset, but it does get on my nerves. However, I usually keep that for myself and for a few select friends, because it's on a pretty sight when I get mad, which happens rarely, thankfully. But when it does, I really get mad, and it doesn't happen with these franchises, things, and all this drama that's going on behind the scenes of Star Wars. I do get upset, but not that upset. I just turned it up to level 10 or maybe 11 just for the fun of it, and I hope you enjoy that. I hope you find it funny, but more importantly, I hope that you get to tell me in the comments below what you think about the whole situation, because I'm very, very curious. So let me know. Just watch the video and let me know. Also, there's an uncensored version. The censored version, I had to put up a censored version on YouTube. But in the video description, you'll get the link for the uncensored version. And I'm very curious to see what you think about that one too. So that's just a bit of house cleaning first. welcoming all the new subscribers and showing you the latest videos that I got up. If you haven't watched them yet, this one is important for new creators. Basically, I go over the new policies that YouTube rolled out recently that are supposed to go into effect and be in effect across the entire platform. These are policies that were in effect in the United States since last November, but now they just rolled them out across the entire platform, regardless of where you are. So I think you might want to check that one out, especially if you're a small creator as I am as well. So let's get right into it, and let's start with No Way Home, Spider-Man No Way Home. Now, I don't know what you think about the Home Saga, let's call it that, or the Tom Holland Spider-Man movies. I think Tom Holland is presenting a pretty good interpretation of Peter Parker / Spider-Man, but I think that I was a very big Spider-Man fan, and from the comics. I mean, I used to read every single comic that came out when I was growing up, and yeah, I was a big Spider-Man fan, and I've always felt. Let me see if you agree with this or not. Let me know in the comments below, or the chat, the live chat, if you agree with this or not. But I've always felt that even though the casting picks for Spider-Man have been pretty solid overall, I think they've been pretty solid. I don't think that they've ever really honed in on a great Spider-Man actor. And it's not because of the actor itself, because I like Tom Holland as Spider-Man. I liked Andrew Garfield to some extent. And my favorite is still Tobey Maguire if I had to choose, if somebody put a gun to my head. But I think there's always something missing from these actors. I'm not sure what. Let me know if you feel this, and let me know in the comments below what your thoughts are, especially if you're a Spider-Man fan from the comics, as I was. I want to know if you also feel this. Do you also feel that they almost got it? They always almost... It's not like, for example, when they cast... Hugh Jackman, Jesus. When they cast Hugh Jackman as Wolverine, that was just it's a perfect casting. Just like when they cast Christopher Reeve as Spider-Man back in the 70s. Nothing against Henry Cavill, but, you know, Superman was, to me, it's still Christopher Reeve. Nobody did a better job than that. So you have these spot-on, perfect casting choices, and then with Spider-Man, there's always something that's missing. I'm not sure what. I can't pinpoint it, but there's always something missing. Let me know if you found that as well, and let me know if you pinpointed it better than I did. But if I had to choose, I would go with Tobey Maguire for some reason. I think it was just probably the closest to encompassing all the things that Spider-Man Peter Parker is. One thing that I find, this is no fault of Tom Holland's, what I'm about to say, but one thing that I find, I was thinking about this today, about the Tom Holland Spider-Man movies, or the Homecoming, Away From Home, Far From Home, or No Way Home, or whatever, this saga. One thing that I find is that he's basically as powerful as his technology. Like, in the comics, Peter Parker is a geek, he is a nerd, and he does develop his own technology to become Spider-Man. He develops the suit, he designs the suit, and he develops the web shooters and whatnot. In these movies, though, he just receives. He is gifted with the technology. Tony Stark gives it to him. So, he already had, in the Homecoming movie, he already had like a suit and the web shooter, sure. But from the moment that he got the new technology from Tony Stark, it just elevated his abilities to such a point that his villains or his challenges had to be that much greater. And I don't like that, because one thing about the comics, Peter Parker from the comics, is that he was an ordinary guy with extraordinary abilities, and you really felt that in the writing. Like, here's a guy who's just trying to go about his own life without getting into too much trouble, you know, keeping a job, keeping a house, keeping a relationship going. But then he has these extraordinary abilities, and the overshadowing wisdom of his uncle telling him that with great power comes great responsibility. So even though he didn't really want to, some of the time he would step up to the plate when his abilities would help someone or had the potential of helping someone. but he was still an ordinary guy. And with this Spider-Man, the Tom Holland's Spider-Man, he is so powerful because of his technology that to actually come into a threat, to find a threat, you just have to heighten the danger and heighten the stakes to such a point that you really lose touch with the common man side of things, right? So that's a shame, because I think Tom Holland is doing a pretty good job, but that I would like to see him explore more this notion that he's an ordinary guy with extraordinary abilities, instead of just having this tremendous technology where for it to be exciting for the audience he has to go into space or something like he did. So I don't know. But anyway, I don't think they ever cast a really, really good Spider-Man. I'm laughing because I'm remembering the TV series, the Spider-Man TV series from the 70s. I don't know if you knew this, but there was a Spider-Man TV series in the 70s, and I actually, let's see, I'm pretty sure I can find it here. Amazing Spider... There we go. Amazing Spider-Man... Not the... Ah, there we go. The Amazing Spider-Man... There we go. This is the one. So... You see, Nicholas Hammond here, he was Peter Parker. Oh, man, look at him. Wow, he's so old now. Of course, he was like in his late 20s, probably in the 70s. So, it was pretty campy, as you can see. Actually, I found the intro for the... I actually watched it, but I want to watch it again with you guys. So, let me just turn the music off and check this out. This is the intro for the... Oh, there's Stan Lee. Look at that. This is the intro for the 1970s Spider-Man TV series, Amazing Spider-Man TV series. Check this out. Oh man, the music. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I don't mind this level of campy though. That's J. Jonah Jameson. Obviously, this is Rita. Mary Jane Watson. And there he is. Yeah, man, that was a great show. Even despite all its flaws, that was a great show, man. And I didn't mind the campiness. I didn't mind the campiness at all. I think it was just fun. It was a really it was a very peculiar take on Spider-Man. So if you haven't watched it, I suggest that you go and take a look at that TV series. I think you're gonna like it. And let me know what you think if you do. So yeah, Spider-Man No Way Home. I was going to say Homecoming because, to be honest, I have a hard time telling one title from the other. I'm not a fan of these home titles. I think it's just very unimaginative. But hey, that's just me. And what else? Oh yeah, I wanted to say that about the next one, this one, No Way Home. They're doing this crossover between the various Spider-Man universes. So they're doing crossover within the Spider-Verse, and Tobey Maguire is apparently going to reprise his role. You can see here that Alfred Molina is in the movie. Obviously, he played Dr. Octopus in Spider-Man 2, Sam Raimi's Spider-Man 2. And you have Jamie Foxx as Electro coming back. This is from The Amazing Spider-Man with Andrew Garfield. You have the J.K. Simmons and J. Jonah Jameson crossing over. So, people were wondering, rightfully so, where's Andrew Garfield? Is he going to make an appearance? Is Tobey Maguire going to make an appearance? Well, I think Tobey Maguire is more than just a rumor at this point. But I don't think Andrew Garfield is coming. I found this article from May 4th, so a couple of weeks old. Maybe something changed in the meantime, I'm not sure, I couldn't find it. But here it says that Andrew Garfield shuts down Spider-Man No Way Home rumors. I did not get the call. So, yeah. And you have also this article from May 5th. And it says that Andrew Garfield denies rumors he'll appear in Spider-Man No Way Home. This from Geek Culture. The other one was from The Wrap. And also I found this one where Emma Stone, who played Gwen Stacy, says she's not going to reprise the role in No Way Home. Oh, Jesus. Sorry about that. And yeah, so I don't think they're going to touch a lot on Andrew Garfield's Amazing Spider-Man, except for bringing Jamie Foxx's Electro. So we'll see. We'll see. Which is a shame, man. I like I said, I don't think there was ever a really good actor, like the perfect actor for Spider-Man. I think all of them had their pluses and they had their pros and cons. But I did like them all. I mean, I think the one that I liked the most was Tobey Maguire, and then Andrew Garfield. Here's a little anecdote. When I was in London with a friend of mine, we actually ran into Andrew Garfield just before he was officially cast as Spider-Man. There were a lot of rumors going on at the time, and why is it like this? I don't care. Anyway, I don't care. So. Andrew Garfield, there we go. And this was around 2011, and yeah, he had just done the Imaginarium of Dr. Parnassus. So, and we ran into him. Where is it? 2012. There you go, Amazing Spider-Man 2012. And I ran into him in 2011. Oh, we actually did The Social Network just before. Right. But the last one, there you go, Imaginarium of Dr. Parnassus. The last one, the last movie that I'd seen him in before I ran into him in London, on the tube, as they say, was the Imaginarium of Dr. Parnassus, which is basically a really good movie. Let me just show you, instead of just telling you about it, let me just show you. It was a Terry Gilliam movie, pretty good movie. I mean, it was fantastic, very imaginative, just like, you know, like oh, sorry about that. Ooh, I got a double thing going here. Yeah, like only a Terry Gilliam movie can be imaginative. And yeah. But it was a really good movie, and it was actually the very, very last movie that Heath Ledger did. Yeah, right after the Dark Knight. He did there you go. You did the Imaginarium of Dr. Parnassus, which was the actual very last movie before he passed away, unfortunately. So, but the Terry Gilliam movie was really, really good, and Andrew Garfield was so amazing in it. When I realized that he was actually in the talks to become Spider-Man, I said, "Oh, that's pretty cool." And when me and my friend ran into him in London, we actually said we told him that. Well, just basically said we were fans of Spider-Man and thinking that, we thought that he was going to do a pretty good job. And yeah, so it's a shame that he's not going to be cast, or at least there are no talks, or the rumors are false about him coming back to No Way Home. That's a shame. I'd like to see if you're going to do a crossover within the Spider-Verse, I think every fan would like to see every Spider-Man, that every actor that ever embodied Spider-Man coming into this, even Nicholas Hammond, even the 1970 Spider-Man. I think that would be very cool, but you know, apparently not the case. Let me know in the comments below if you're excited about this. I'm not really sure. I mean, I like Benedict Cumberbatch's Doctor Strange. I liked his first movie a lot. I'm still waiting for Sam Raimi's sequel, which I think has all the ingredients to be a great one. But yeah. So yeah. Well, Andrew Garfield apparently is not going to reprise his role, but maybe it's a rumor. Maybe something changed between the beginning of this month and now. Yeah, we'll see. I guess we'll see. And check out the 1970s Amazing Spider-Man TV series. You're gonna like it. like it, if you like campy stuff, you're gonna like this, and even if it's just for a laugh. And let me know what you thought in the comments below. Now on to the next order of business. Apparently there was a Friends reunion special this year, which I did not watch because, to be honest, I was never really a Friends fan. I mean, I liked what I watched back then, back when it was still kind of a fresh show and it was on TV. I mean, I enjoyed it. I wasn't like a super fan or anything. I had friends who were super fans. I wasn't one, so I didn't watch this. But apparently, there were some mixed reviews. If you're a fan of Friends, there were some mixed reviews. There were oh, wait a minute. Oh, I thought it was Seinfeld. So let's go to the user reviews. See, 10 out of 10, 7 out of 10, 6 out of 10. So a lot of them are pretty good reviews apparently. But there are some that don't say. I mean, from what I watched, I didn't watch a lot. I just glanced some things here and there, and it seemed pretty bland, which is something that the Friends series, I can't. Even though I'm not a fan, I can't say that was the case. It wasn't really bland. It was. Sometimes I thought it was very predictable. So it didn't get me laughing a lot. It got me, This is pretty much the most that it got me was just, okay, interesting. That little, not even a laugh. Like that's not even a quarter of a laugh. But yeah. This seemed pretty bland, and apparently I'm not the only one who thinks that. This guy P.S. Effens or P. Seffens, I don't know, says, I expect a little nostalgic reunion and a Where Are They Now scripted hour. Table reads of original shows, predictable questioning during interviews. So nothing groundbreaking. Just rewatch the series. That's probably the best advice there. Oh, here's another one. Really no big deal here. Just the cast talking about their favorite memories, episode scenes. They could have done that on a Zoom call, whatever. So my eyes were confused. Oh, I didn't read this one. No one is mentioning it in the reviews, but I honestly couldn't get past the amount of Botox I was seeing on stage. Something just seemed so off with them all. Would have scored higher. James Corden ruined it. Oh, really? Was it James Corden presenting? Oh man. Yeah. Why must that absolute bell be in everything? Yeah, well, my sentiment exactly. Especially since the guy that he substituted was Craig Ferguson. And if you don't know who Craig Ferguson is, you're missing out. Go watch The Late Late Show with Craig Ferguson. I guarantee you'll be in stitches. The man is a legend, a comedy legend. And, well, too bad James Corden couldn't fill those shoes. That's at least my opinion. Alright, as fake as most reviews on IMDb. Yeah, that's what I think. I mean, most of them are really like 10 out of 10, 10 out of 10, 9 out of 10. But they strike me as being bot reviews, or at least paid reviews or fake reviews, whatever. But this guy says, or this person says, it was a classic series, one of the all-time best. Okay, agree to disagree there. But this was just some old chubby people and a production that tried, I didn't read this one as well, they tried to include everyone and the kitchen sink to want to make something big, and it fails. The original series succeeded because we could relate to the people and the situations. Perhaps like many reunions, you should either get drunk to see it through or speed through in 2 minutes for curiosity. Yeah. I don't know. There are also some good ones here. Wasted time. There are also some good ones here, but terrible host. See, ruined by James Corden. Damn. The more I scroll, the worse the reviews are on James Corden. Damn. Simply awful. Skip it. Oh, no big deal. Oh, wow. Okay, so the bad ones are really down here. Okay. Well, anyway, if you're a fan of the series, I don't know. I guess just watch it, at least a few minutes of it, and if you think it's noteworthy, if it's something to write home about, come over to the comments and let me know. Maybe I'll watch it, or maybe I won't because I'm not really a fan of the show. But hey, you say your piece. One thing that I liked though, was that when I was researching these things about Friends, I came across stuff about Tom Selleck. Tom Selleck. I didn't even know Tom Selleck was in Friends, but apparently he was. He played this guy called Richard. Where is he? There we go. Richard Burke. There it is. I didn't even know, but I really like Tom Selleck. I think he's a great actor. Well, I was alive in the 80s, alive and well, so I watched a lot of Tom Selleck back then, and I've always liked him. And one thing that I really like about him, I'm a big Batman fan, so I think after saying this, you pretty much know where I'm going with this, but look at this picture. I've always thought that the perfect casting of Commissioner Gordon was actually Tom Selleck. I mean, tell me this isn't. I mean, this is just, you don't even have to. It doesn't need any makeup. This is just Commissioner Gordon right here. There's no doubt about it. I think he has the right demeanor. I'm pretty sure he's sick of playing detectives, but then again, I think he would have been great for the role. What do you guys think? Tom Selleck as Commissioner Gordon. Yeah, I think he would have been a great Commissioner Gordon in movies. Maybe there's still time. Who knows? Who knows? Yeah, too bad though. Too bad nobody thought about that before. But I think that would have been a great casting choice. What is your casting choice for Commissioner Gordon? What do you think? Who do you think would have been a great Commissioner Gordon that was never cast in such a role, or at least as Commissioner Gordon? Let me know in the comments below. I'm pretty curious because every time I think of a perfect casting for Commissioner Gordon, I think of Tom Selleck. Remember that before I was saying that there was never really like the perfect casting for Spider-Man, but there was for Superman with Christopher Reeve, and for Wolverine with Hugh Jackman. Even Deadpool was, Ryan Reynolds was fantastic in it. So there are these pitch perfect casting choices, and I think Tom Selleck would have been one. Let me know down in the comments, and let me know because I'm pretty curious if you have a different opinion. Now, for video game fans, Dying Light is coming out on December 7th. Now, I've never played this game, but so many people have recommended me playing this game that I don't know. One day I'm gonna try it out. Maybe do a little playthrough for the arcade. Yeah, as you know, as you very well know, the background that I'm using here is for the Adam's Den arcade. So this is not just a tease. This is pretty much the most dynamic background that I have. This is why I use it. But I do want to go back and try, at least finish the Batman Arkham Knight playthroughs, which, like I said before, they are done. I just need to edit them. Some of them, not all, but pretty much. And maybe Dying Light. Maybe Dying Light can be a good contender for the arcade. Let me know if you've played this game. Let me know what you think. Is this Mirror's Edge? This looks a lot like Mirror's Edge. Is it? Wow. That's another game that I loved. Mirror's Edge. No, this is Dying Light. So Dying Light is kind of like Mirror's Edge then. I haven't watched it. You know what? I know what we can do. I picked up the trailer for Dying Light 2. So let's watch that now and let's see, because I really don't know anything about this game. I was just curious because a lot of people recommend it. And now I saw that it's coming out, the second one is coming out in December, so maybe I can play the first one until then. Let's see, let's watch this trailer.
Hey everyone, we've been quiet for some time, since, like the rest of the world, we had some unforeseen hurdles to clear. But the wait is over.
There we go.
Let's dive into the open world of Dying Light 2.
All right. Whoa.
The last slice of Dying Light 2 showcased the mission from the main storyline.
Yeah. You get after those fuckers.
You saw how your decisions influenced the narrative and notably changed the environment.
Ooh, that's pretty good. That's pretty good.
This time, we want to give you a broader look at the game and a sneak peek at some of the things we'll be talking about in upcoming months.
All right.
In Dying Light 2, you become Aiden Caldwell, an outsider trying to unravel a tangled mystery from his past. Its trail leads him to the city, probably the last bastion of mankind in the world.
Shit!
All right, so it's like Mirror's Edge with zombies.
At first, you feel like this intense, brutal place will tear you apart. But then you meet the Night Runners, veteran survivors who help people in better days.
By the way, I'm Hakon.
You were a night runner. You used to help people, remember?
Night runners are gone. Finished. A myth.
And although it's not entirely clear you can trust them,
Yeah, this
you
is
need
like
allies in the dark.
this is almost 8 minutes long. I'm not gonna watch the whole thing,
And these are the modern Dark Ages. It's been 15 years since the apocalypse,
All right,
and
all right.
the world has changed.
Okay.
The
So
old-
I get the gist. I get the idea. It looks pretty good. I mean, it looks awesome. And I like the idea that it's like Mirror's Edge. Mirror's Edge was an amazing game. If you haven't played it, go look into Mirror's Edge. You're gonna like this, especially if you like Dying Light. It's not as it doesn't have the zombie factor, and it doesn't have. It's not like a fully open world, but it did a lot back then when open world games were still kind of sketchy. It did a lot. It was a really, really good game, and I honestly recommend it. And I honestly think that you're going to have a good time if you play that game. If you do, again, come and tell me if you enjoyed it. That's why we do this. But yeah, Dying Light 2, it's basically coming out on December 7th. And it looks pretty cool, man. The idea of having like this parkour-based game. Wow. This parkour-based game and adding these monsters to it. Yeah. I think it's an idea worth exploring. Yeah, that's pretty cool. I'm wondering now if the first one is as cool as this one looks. Because the first images here, when they show the open world, these were, like that is amazing. That is amazing. The depth of field there, that's really, really good. I love these immersive games, man. Also, I have Red Dead Redemption 2, and I haven't played it yet. Oh, man, I keep postponing. There's just so much to do. I'm too busy. Basically, that's what it is. I'm just too busy, which is a good thing. Taking into consideration what's going on around the world. But yeah. So yeah, I'm gonna look into this as well. But first, I gotta finish the Arkham Knight side missions. I think, otherwise, it's gonna be too scattered. Yeah, this is a pretty good one. All right, now speaking of trailers and speaking of horror, there's a movie that's coming out this year, and another sequel like Dying Light 2. There's another sequel coming out, and I think it's gonna be pretty cool because not only did I like the first one, I liked the trajectory that they chose for the second one, and this is A Quiet Place Part 2. So, what did you think of the first one? Because I think it was a pretty good achievement, especially the directing. I think was really, really good. I had some problems with it. I think it needed a little bit more of a tighter, actor's direction. So I think some of the acting could have been a little tighter, could have been a little less, what's the word? Comfortable. Yeah, comfortable. So, there are certain moments where I felt that they weren't really living the tension of the moment. And this is a movie, or apparently a saga, or a franchise, let's call it that has such potential for being the kind of movie that just keeps every audience member and every character in a tense moment. Like The Road with Viggo Mortensen. There wasn't a single moment in that movie where I felt like they were at peace, except for one moment that I'm not going to spoil for you. Oh, let me just look it up, because I think it's a good one as well. the Road. I think it's from 2004. Let's see. No, On the Road. No, Viggo Mortensen. There we go. 2009. Yeah. Yeah, 2009. This is a devastating movie. This is really gut-wrenching, but I think it's worth it. And there was one moment in this movie where they feel at peace. They finally find peace. But I'm not going to spoil that moment for you because I think it's better if you just watch it for yourself. So yeah, I think again, A Quiet Place Part 2 or the Quiet Place franchise, I think has a lot of potential to bringing that level of anxiety into the audience and the characters. And there were some moments in A Quiet Place, the first one, where I thought, these actors are not really living the moment; they are just acting. But that seldom happened. It was very rare, and I think that overall the movie is a very, very good accomplishment, especially the directing. I didn't expect that. I did not expect that from the guy from The Office. What's he called? Oh man! So A Quiet Place. Is he going to direct the second one? That's a good. Yeah, John Krasinski. There you go. So John Krasinski, he did a really good job. He did a really, really good job in the first one directing. So I hope he does the same. He keeps it up. If you don't know who John Krasinski is, he's the guy from The Office. I just realized that he could have been a choice for Shazam, right? He could have been a choice. You could have been a good choice for Shazam, I think. Maybe. I don't know. You tell me. But anyway, A Quiet Place. You want to watch this trailer? Let's watch this one as well. Because I really like where they're going with this. Yeah, that connects to the first one. Watch the first one before you watch this one. You're going to enjoy it more.
What happened?
A bomb, I think.
Yeah.
I don't know why he came all the way up here.
Yeah.
There's nothing left.
I just keep saying because I'm
There are people out
noticing these things.
People worth saving.
There's one thing.
Most people.
Alright, so if there's one thing that I don't like is like critiques on the trailer. I don't like that. Like quotes of what people said, like critics said about the movie. I don't like that. I don't know why. It's just a pet peeve. If you need that, it's probably not that good, right? Or maybe you just want to get people's juices going. But still, if the trailer doesn't do that by itself, is it really that good? I don't know. It's just a pet peeve. Maybe I'm wrong. You let me know in the comments below, but I don't like it. But anyway.
Who had finally given up hope.
Okay. Another critique. Oh, man. All right, so a couple of things. Yeah, there are a couple of things here. One of them, things that I noticed and I didn't like. Oh, Jesus, shut up. Okay, so things that I noticed and I did not like. Obviously, the what I just said, the quotes from the critics, I don't like that. It's a pet peeve. I goddamn hate it. Other things is they show the creatures a lot, don't they? Oh, there we go. See, they show the creatures here, and I think that this is one of those cases where if you show the creatures too much, or the enemies, the villains, the what do you call it? The opposing force. It's not the opposing force. The oppressive force. Well, whatever. I don't know. I forget the actual term. But anyway, if you show what's the source of the conflict, in this case, in movies like this, it probably takes away from the tension of the scene. The same thing happened with the Blair Witch Projects, the sequels, where the first one was a masterpiece when it came out, in my opinion, and it didn't show any of the villain at all. The other ones thought that they could raise the bar by showing the villain, and I'd probably, if I had to guess, I think that this Quiet Place is going the same route. But the idea of going back to a time before things started, it's like a prequel, but it's a direct sequel. So it's a cool idea. They're just finding out what happened. I don't know. I'm curious. Yeah, to see what goes on. It's also a good way of bringing John Krasinski back into the fore. I'm not going to say more than that. Yeah, no, I mean, overall, don't get me wrong. Overall, I think it's going to be a pretty solid movie. I'm just not sure it's going to reach the heights of the first one. The first one was unexpectedly good, in my opinion. The whole idea was pretty good. Then you had other movies that tried to follow in its footsteps and failed. But this one was a good trailblazer, I think. Oh, I just realized that I really dislike that word for completely unrelated reasons that have to do with kibblesmithing. But anyway, you probably know what I'm talking about here, but yeah. So, yeah, A Quiet Place. Let me know if you're excited for this movie, because I kind of am. I think we sorely need some really good horror movies. And one thing that I keep harking on about is a solid horror movie, or rather, a good horror movie is not based on jump scares. I was just explaining this to a friend of mine the other day. If you have to rely on jump scares, your movie is not scary. You can scare people, but it's not a horror movie. It's a scary movie. Maybe I'm misusing the term there, but I think it's a scary movie where people get scared because obviously if you have a moment of silence and then some huge noise just bursts out, people are going to be scared. It's, even though they're expecting it, it's just the shock of the sound, of the volume between silence and a big shocking sound, that's going to scare people. But that says nothing about the plot, and it says nothing about the movie's ability to create a horror environment. So if you have to rely on jump scares, you're not a horror movie in my book. Which is, again, why the Blair Witch Project was so good. It did not rely on jump scares. This is something that the sequels forgot. That was one of the main selling points. So, yeah, I don't know. I'm still excited. I'm going to watch it. I'm excited about this one because I really like the first one. I just hope they don't go overboard with the idea that they have to raise the stakes. They actually have to show a lot more of the villains and whatnot. I think it's like we talked about in my previous podcast with Dylan Devine. You want to go deeper, not wider. You don't have to widen the universe, but you have to go deeper if you want to make it more engaging and interesting. Or at least that's an option. You can also go wider, of course, but I think the most successful sequels are the ones that go deeper, not wider. We talked a lot about that in the podcast, so feel free to listen. Here's the link right now above the video. So, yeah, click it and let me know what you think. Now, moving on to the next order of business. I wanted to talk a little bit about this amazing actor, Christopher Lee. He died May 27th. Oh, yeah, I knew it. It was yesterday. Oh, happy birthday, Mr. Lee. Sir. Yeah, Sir Christopher Frank Carandini Lee. There's a little Italian in you. I think. But yeah, he Belgravia. Yeah, I was very close to that. Oh, he died in Chelsea. I lived near Chelsea. Yeah. He died in 2015. which is a shame for the entire world. This was a great actor, in my opinion. He played some really iconic roles. The one that comes to everybody's mind immediately, also because it's on the thumbnail, is Saruman. He played him to a T. I don't know. By the way, I never read the Lord of the Rings books. I have a really good edition that I just put on my nightstand to start reading. Because I wanted to get away from I wanted to get some distance from watching the movies before I read it, just so I can really get into the lore. And I think that I'm going to have a lot of fun reading it. Have you read it? Have you read Lord of the Rings? And what do you think of the Lord of the Rings books? Let me know in the comments below. Try not to leave out the spoilers, but I'm curious about your experience reading it. But about Saruman, I mean, Christopher Lee played Saruman to a T. If this is not the character that you imagine in the books, maybe the character is a lot different. I don't know. I have to read it. But this was so well fleshed out. He had such a tremendous voice and presence on screen. You know, it just reminded me that I'm sad that I didn't get to see him on stage. I think I would have enjoyed seeing Christopher Lee on stage. Yeah, missed opportunity there, but hey, I got to see him a lot on screen, and this is why I wanted to go over with you guys. Just a little glance at just glancing over his amazing career. Apparently, oh, he's the narrator. Okay, I was going to say there's another movie coming out. Yeah. Just go over some of the key points of his career. Like, for example, he played, in my opinion, the best character in Star Wars Episode 2, the Attack of the Clones. He played Count Dooku. Let me see if I can find him here. Yeah, there we go, Count Dooku. I think he played the best character in the entire movie. That's at least, hey, Spider-Man. Count Dooku, there we go. So, I mean, this was, to me, the best character in this movie. He was so amazing in it. Tell me, is this character, did he exist elsewhere, or was he created for this movie? Because I don't know. I haven't researched it. I like the bend. Okay, yeah. I like the way the handle bends there. I think that was pretty cool as well. Like a cane, but not a cane, obviously. you would melt the floor. But yeah, I think he was the best character in the entire movie, and I really enjoyed it. Ooh. With the dark force, the dark side rays. What do you call it? Oh, there's a word. Oh man, I'm drawing such a blank. I do not sound like a Star Wars fan right now. Oh, it's right there. I can't remember it. But anyway, I'm sure you guys are gonna let me know. Yeah, he played the best character in the entire movie, I think. Oh, there's Shri. So yeah, this was another great one. Another great one. Let's see if I can find it. I don't want to Dark Shadows. Dark Shadows. I'm a big fan of Tim Burton, but that one. I think the last really good Tim Burton movie was Big Fish. Everything else was Even Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. Yeah, I'm not a fan, man. I can't find. There it is. Yeah, that's the one I'm looking for. But so it's 1970 something. Yeah, you can see where I'm going with this. But Count Dracula, 1970. Really? Okay. I thought it was a little later. I thought it was 70 something. Nachtsven. Erwacht. Yeah, one of the best Draculas out there. And I only watched his Dracula way later. I'm a big fan of Dracula. I read Bram Stoker like twice. Let's see. Christopher Lee Dracula. Yeah. Oh, wait a minute. Yeah, I'm wrong here. It's 1958? Really? Wow. So did he reprised his role? Really? Oh man, I'm just finding this out. This is amazing. Let's see, 1958. Yeah, there we go. Oh my lord. The Tale of Two Cities. Oh, interesting. He played it as well. Horror of Dracula. So, okay. So he played the role since 1958. But I only watched Christopher Lee as Dracula way later. I wasn't alive in 58, but I'm such a big Dracula fan that I don't know why I only saw it that much later. Peter Cushing and Dr. Van Helsing. Wow. Michael Gough. Wow. How do I not know about this movie? Wow. Okay, this is going on my list. Have you watched this one, the 1958 Dracula, with Christopher Lee? Because this is, I mean, I'm pretty sure this is an amazing movie. Obviously, yeah. Obviously based on Bram Stoker's Dracula. Man. Yeah, so anyway, he played this great role as well. I mean, there's so many to choose from. He was such a great actor. Man. So I know this isn't much of eulogy, not a eulogy because it's been 6 years, but it's not, this is not a proper send-off or a proper birthday celebration of this man's tremendous career, but man, he just played so many good. Oh, the Young Indiana Jones Chronicles. I remember watching this on TV. Oh yeah, he was just an amazing man. Oh, actor. I don't know how he was as a person. I imagine he was a really good guy, but all I know him was from what he did on screen. Do you miss those times? Here's a good question for you guys. A really important one. Do you miss the times when you only knew actors and actresses from the screen? You didn't know about their personal lives unless you had to dig through a lot of pink magazines. But nowadays, it seems like you want to watch the movie because you know about that person's personal life. I'm sorry, that doesn't jive with me. I want to watch the movie because, A, I like the premise. 2, I like the director, and I think he has a really good eye or really good take on storytelling, visual storytelling. And C, you like the actors for what they've done before as actors, but not because of the person. Man, you can separate the person from the film or the piece or the painting or whatever or the book. You can't separate the two. Something I say a lot is that the piece, the work of art, lives on its own. It doesn't need anything else. You don't need to know about the cast or the writer's personal life to enjoy the movie. The movie, the book, whatever it is, the painting, the song, it is a thing in itself. It's contained and it speaks to you as a person. And something that happened a lot of times in my life is that if I rewatch a movie later in my life, I'm going to have a completely different reaction to when I first watched it. And I read books. I reread a lot of books in my life, and I always had a different reaction because my circumstance had changed. So the piece lives on its own. It doesn't need the real world to make it important. Of course, there are things that have a heightened relevance when you understand the historic social circumstance or whatever, let's call it historic circumstance. The contemporary circumstance that led to its creation. Yeah, sure, that might heighten the relevance or heighten your appreciation for the piece, but the piece itself is something contained. It does not need the real world to be meaningful to anybody. So again, like actors, when they play a role, the role is the piece, is the masterpiece, is the work of art, is their role, their interpretation. And that lives on its own. You don't need to know about people's personal lives to enjoy it. And I just realized that I knew very little about Christopher Lee as a person, which is kind of refreshing, to be honest. But I was such a big fan of what he did. He played. Oh, I love this. Such a small part. Where is it? I'm gonna find it. Let me see if I can remember. Like maybe 2005. Let's see if it's 2005. When did it come out? Corpse Bride. No, it was before. Where is it? I don't want to say this one. No, maybe later. No, it can't be later. It has to be before. So let's see. There it is. Of course, 1999, a busy year for Tim Burton. He also did Planet of the Apes in '99. Jesus. Mark Wahlberg, the heavy breather, as the lead on Planet of the Apes. Man. No. I love Tim Burton. I really, really like his work, but Jesus, he has some doozies. But anyway, Christopher Lee played a role here of the Burgomaster, and it's just a small, very small role, and he just nails it. He nails it. Man, he had such a tremendous presence. He had such a tremendous presence on screen. I miss this kind of presence. Man, just like Michael Gough. Michael Gough, the best Alfred to Batman ever, in my opinion. I think Jeremy Irons is a different take. I don't mind it. I think it's a cool take, to be honest. I think it's a good take. Very, very strict, very military-ish. But I think that Michael Gough really am I saying his name wrong? I always said Michael Gough. Am I saying it? Am I mispronouncing his name? I don't know. Anyway, I think he played every aspect of Alfred to a T. Even in the one that shall not be named, the ones that shan't be named. Even in those, man. Yeah, even in those. So yeah, tremendous actors. I'm glad to see that they shared on screen time together. Well, of course, together. Sharing is usually together. But I'm glad to see that Michael Gough and Christopher Lee got to work a lot more than I thought. Work together a lot more than I thought. Oh, Lisa Marie. Sorry about that. I just always had a thing for Lisa Marie. But yeah. Christina Ricci did a really good job in this movie as well. Yeah, great movies. Christopher Lee, man. What an actor. What do you think of Christopher Lee? I think this is going to be my next watch. Definitely. Horror of Dracula. Maybe I'll do a little review for the home cinema section. Yeah, that might be cool. Count Dooku. Ugh. Sand its course. It gets everywhere. Jesus. The writing here. Ugh. But anyway, Christopher saved it. The Sir saved it. And speaking of uncanny presences, guess what we're going to talk about now? Oh yeah. The 60 Minutes piece on UFOs. That's what we're going to talk about just a little bit. I don't want to get too much into it, but I am going to discuss a few things, the most important of which is two perspectives on this event or these proceedings. I'm going to call them proceedings because I'm not sure this is actually going to amount to an event, and if it does, I am not sure that we want to put all our eggs in that basket. What am I talking about? Well, as you well know, if you've been following this subject, you know that 60 Minutes, a very reputable, reputable in the eyes of most people. I'm not saying it's not. I'm just saying it had its ups and downs. But for the most part, people find this a very reputable show. Why am I having a hard time saying that? A very reputable show. And it was very refreshing to see UFO news not coming from the underground media or the underground places that we usually find this information. Oh man, the weather is changing here, and I'm getting my allergies are kicking in. I just have one allergy, but anyway, it's kicking in. Very glad to see mainstream media picking this up. And if you've noticed that mainstream media are not laughing as hard as they used to at the phenomenon, right? Remember the Phoenix Lights when the mayor or the governor Was it the governor of Arizona? Or was it the mayor of Phoenix? Anyway, they had like this press conference, and he mocked everybody, that all those witnesses of the Phoenix Lights. And if you don't know about the Phoenix Lights, let me just give you an idea, a glimpse of what the Phoenix Lights were. And I'm pretty sure this has been hit on YouTube quite a lot. So the Phoenix Lights were a series, were a series of widely sighted, unidentified flying objects, or UFOs, observed in the skies over the U.S. states of Arizona, Nevada, and something else. The point being that it was a really, really big thing, right? So look at the scope of this. Look at the size of that object. See, this is a very bad still frame from the actual thing, but there are a lot of news reports about this from 97. I think it was 97, wasn't it? Let me see. I'm pretty sure it was. Let's just open the Wikipedia page. I think it's going to be... Yeah, 97. There you go. So, yeah. So, Arizona, Nevada, and the Mexican state of Sonora on March 13th, 1997. And look at that. This is a rendition, I think. And basically, the mayor of Phoenix, or the governor of Arizona, I'm not really sure. They had this press conference. They had someone dressed in an alien costume coming out and basically just mocking everybody that said they witnessed this. And you mock people into silence. You don't do that. You don't do that. If you have hundreds and thousands of witnesses, you don't do this. So, yeah. So where am I going with this? Well, you see, now media aren't laughing as hard at this phenomena for some reason. Sure, the Tic Tac incident. I'm just going to talk as if you know about what I'm talking about. If you don't know what I'm talking about, let me know in the comments below, and I will be sure to reply with a proper link for you to sink your teeth into this subject. But I'm just going to assume that you kind of know about these things and go on. So I was saying that the Tic Tac incident, that this guy helped bring about. This is Louis Alizondo. Who was a very interesting person in these meanderings. He was the head of ATIP, a research initiative that was focused on investigating these sightings and these technologies that everybody was seeing everywhere. And there you go, ATIP right here. And they basically helped bring out this Tic Tac incident, where fighter pilots. There you go, David Fravor, and this woman that just came out as being there as well with David Fravor in the air, witnessing this. And they saw this UFO, and they basically tracked it for several minutes. And when this was brought out, this was from 2004, if I'm not mistaken. Let me just see, in 2004. I think it was around 2004 that this happened. And it helped bring about this credibility regarding the UFO phenomena. So this helped a lot, sure. But why is the media suddenly, taking all of this so seriously? And I'll tell you what my hesitation is in just a minute. But yeah, so 60 Minutes had this long piece. I just watched parts of it. I haven't watched everything from beginning to end. There it is, David Fravor and Alex Dietrich. Okay. Yeah. So I only watched parts of it, but it seems like it goes pretty much in depth into what happened. And for this person to come out, it means that because she wanted to remain silent, she didn't want to be a part of this, of the disclosing of this information or this event. But now the media is taking it seriously, and this kind of makes me hesitate. Here's an example from the Washington Times. That says basically Navy pilots sound alarm on UFOs on 60 Minutes. I feel a responsibility to share what I can. So people are not laughing anymore. But why all of a sudden? 2020 was a very peculiar year, wasn't it? I'm not saying anything. I'm just talking. I don't have. By the way, I'm probably going to throw out a lot of questions to which I have zero answers. But it's just questions, it's just ideas to get a conversation going, because this is a subject that interests me dearly, And one of the topics that I want to go into in the Fantastic Earth podcast, eventually, I've just been focused on talking to people that are into art appreciation, basically mostly films and books. I'm going to do the next episode is going to be about music, so stay tuned for that. But I really want to go into supernatural. Well, I don't like that word, but I'll tell you why. I want to go into these fantastic subjects. The motto of the Fantastic Earth podcast is delving into the natural, supernatural, and human wonders of the world. So my problem with the word supernatural is if it happens, there's this misconception of the supernatural. The supernatural, to me, in my contention, only illustrates the unusual. But because if it happens, it's natural. It's like saying, oh, this is artificial. Well, it was probably artificially created, like a substance, but all the resources were from nature, from the world, from the universe, from something that exists. So it's not that artificial. It was artificially manufactured, sure, yes, but all the ingredients that were used are not artificial, right? So it's like the same thing with the supernatural and natural. If it happens, it's not supernatural. It's like superhuman is above human, supernatural is above natural. It's not. I don't agree with that interpretation of these events, but I do say that they are unusual, and I use the word supernatural because of its other connotations, which is it immediately makes us think of fantastic things, like mystical things even. And I think that's important. I think we need to bring back our ability to engage with the world through mystical thought, as I've also mentioned in an exploration that I did through Philip K. Dick. If you didn't watch that one, I suggest that you do. The link is right here above. And yeah, so I mentioned something which was Philip K. Dick's great achievements. Among them was this one that was he engaged with science fiction from a perspective of drawing out mystical thoughts or mystical concepts, almost quasi-mystical concepts. So yeah, I don't want to go into it because I mentioned this before, but the point here being that I think it's important for us as a society, a global society, to start thinking, revisiting our mystical engagement with the world. Because when I say mystical, I mean looking at something that we can't explain and trying. So first you engage with it, you don't dismiss it, you engage with it, and then you try to explain it. And I think this is why I bring UFOs into the supernatural. It's not supernatural. It's actually something that I think is just waiting for an explanation to be found. But it does engage with that mystical side of things still, which I think is important to keep an open mind. But yeah, so anyway, people aren't laughing, and this Washington Times article is just another example of how mainstream media isn't laughing at the subject anymore. Now, let me go back to the point I was trying to make, which is the reason why I hesitate with this new media approach to the phenomena is because I like knowing about imaginative theories about the world. I won't call it conspiracy theories because I don't like the concept of a conspiracy theory. Basically, you're saying that the conspiracies are only theoretical, which is not the case. A conspiracy is something very concrete that happens all the time, every single second around the world. There is a conspiracy taking place. And if you look at the definition of conspiracy, let me just bring it up. Ooh, almost. There we go. So let's go to dictionary.com and let's go to... Unless they updated the definition. Let's see. An evil, unlawful, treacherous, or surreptitious plan formulated in secret. There you go. All right? An evil, unlawful... Oh, man. Okay. An evil, unlawful, treacherous, or surreptitious plan formulated in secret by two or more persons. A plot. There we go. The act of conspiring. This is the act of conspiring. A combination of persons for a secret, unlawful, or evil purpose. So this is a conspiracy. It's not just a engage with alternative interpretations of the world. It's just to entertain. I think there's a lot of imagination that goes into a lot of them, but one of them, well, some of them are not just imagination. They're very methodical in their interpretation of the world. And one of them said that there is such a thing, or there's a possibility of such a thing as a false disclosure. What do I mean? I mean that this right here with this 60 Minutes piece and the fact that the mainstream media are not laughing at this subject right now could be a hint that we're close to disclosing the information that several governments around the world have about the UFO phenomena. However, because I've heard since the 90s at least that there is the possibility of a false disclosure, which illustrates a point where society has reached such a technological ability that you could actually stage an alien invasion. For what reason? Well, your guess is as good as mine. I have thoughts, but I don't like to trust too much in those ideas because it's just things that you keep in the back of your mind just to see what happens. Again, I like it for the entertaining value as well. I think there's a lot of imagination that goes into some interpretations of the world, and I think that merely on the exercise for the imagination, I think it's valid to engage with them. But in this case, when you talk about disclosing information that governments around the world may or may not have, which I lean more toward having gathered about the UFO phenomena and kept it from the public eye, that's disclosure. Bringing it to the public eye would be disclosure, and this might be a symptom of a potential or even imminent disclosure. However, because I've been hearing since the 90s that there is a possibility of producing an artificial false disclosure, something that would definitely in the 90s it would have been unthinkable for us to reach the idea of us reaching that level of technology would have been unthinkable. But right now I don't think so much. Look at what people did with the Tupac and Michael Jackson concerts, with holographic concerts. So that's just something that comes out into the public. So it is reasonable to assume that we have reached a level of technology that could potentially fool people into believing that something that isn't real, that is artificially manufactured, is actually real. Like Plato's allegory of the cave. We're just watching shadows. Someone is producing those shadows. We believe the shadows are real. So it is reasonable to assume that we do have that level of technology these days. So I just find it too coincidental that in the same year that so much turmoil, social turmoil around the globe happened because of the COOF, this also happens. Maybe it is just that. Maybe it's just a convergence of priorities that shifted. Maybe it is. A lot's changed in the last 10 years. A lot's changed since David Fravor and Alex Dietrich followed this UFO. A lot has changed. So, and remember that UFO only we need to keep telling people this. UFO only stands for unidentified flying objects. They have other terms for these things right now, but I still like UFOs and I'm going to keep it. So the fact that this is happening now is kind of raising some red flags in my opinion. Listen, I would love nothing more to have confirmation, right? Confirmation that these things are indeed from outside our, let's say, otherworldly, because we don't really know what that means. People say that some people say that they come from other solar systems. Other people say they don't come from other solar systems, but rather from another dimension or another alternate reality, I should say. So we don't really know where they come from. It's silly and useless and very inefficient to speculate where they come from, but it is good to entertain the idea, and I would love for disclosure to be real. However, I will hold my skepticism. I will hang on to my skepticism, because once you reach the level of resource, the right level of resource, and that includes technology and power, who's to say that level of technology and that kind of power to shape society wouldn't be used for some nefarious reason if you could fool people into believing something that you know is not true. It's the same as saying, let's go back a few hundred years and let's say that it's the same as saying that imagine the leader of a tribe that saw that his tribe was questioning his authority, and he had for some reason acquired this technology that could produce something like imagine a beam of light or even fire where there was no ignition. If he had a technology that could produce something like that, he could fool people into believing that he was some sort of a god and to not question his authority, right? So that's a possible nefarious use of overwhelming technology being beheld by being witnessed. I don't know if beheld is a word, but being witnessed by unsuspecting people, unsuspecting civilians. So yeah, we don't know. Let's just keep it. Let's keep our healthy skepticism alive because it is there for a reason. It's probably the best way to reach some solid or near solid conclusions about things that we have a really hard time grasping. So, this is just a friendly reminder that there are a lot of things happening out there, and it's good to keep an open mind. That means both ways, not just one way. There's this, let me pull it up because I think it's a momentous poster. X-Files poster, I Want to Believe. I think this poster illustrates a lot. This was made famous in the X-Files series. Why am I? This really bugs me, is when I just want something simple. Okay, let's do that. That's better. There we go. So, I can't see let's try this. Let's try that. Yeah. Oh. No, even worse. Okay, let's just keep it that way. Let's keep it there. So this poster was made famous in the amazing TV series, The X-Files. And this pretty much illustrates the problem with not checking your biases. It's one thing to say you believe, which I refrain from using. I don't like to look at things that way. I believe or I don't believe. I like going by what makes sense. But I do want to believe. That is true. I want to believe that these are exotic technologies from other solar systems. I think I've been fed that through science fiction my whole life, so I would like to see it become a reality. I think it's the potential that it raises, the possibilities are tremendous for our society, for our presence in the universe, and I would like that to be true. However, it's different. It's very different from saying what I see, or in terms of the next developments that I see in this direction are true just because I want to believe them. No, it doesn't make them true. So that's what a healthy dose of skepticism will do to you. It will keep you with a sound mind, at least, at the very least. So that's a good thing, right? What do you think about all this? I want to know what you think about all this, because I've been talking for a while about this subject. As you can see, it's something that I'm very fascinated by. So let me know in the comments below a lot of things. One of them is, what do you think about this UFO phenomena? What do you think about this is the other one. What do you think about these developments, these recent developments? And what would be the best way to approach something of this magnitude, given that I don't know how to put this. We have little to no resource to actually factually confirm or deny the reality of these developments, whatever they may be. So I don't know. What would be a healthy way of approaching it and engaging with this going forward? There you go. Oh, there's an even better picture there. There you go. Let's see if I can open this one in. Again, why do you pain me? Yeah, this is basically a mock-up of Jesus. A mock-up of Fox Mulder's office. Or maybe it's the real one. I don't know. But yeah, that right there says a lot. And here's a good question as well. What would you want it to be? If you could choose, like, what do you want to believe? I want to believe, I'd love for it to be true that these are actually exotic technologies from other solar systems, like I said. But what about you? What would be the most fascinating turn of events for this particular subject, in your opinion? Let me know in the comments below. Let's get a conversation going. I would love that. All right, the last topic of the night is something, I just found this by accident, but I thought it was pretty cool. Online entertainment in 2021, classification and features. This is an article from whatstrending.com, and I thought this is a pretty cool thing. I'm not going to go read the article. You can read it if you want. It's easy to find. But I like the idea of checking in to see what are people's choices for online entertainment in 2021. Or the opportunities that 2021 presents in terms of online entertainment. I think that's pretty much it. I just read it like I glanced at it. I didn't really read it in depth, but I thought this would bring a good topic of conversation. So, and it also made me laugh because the first one is online gambling services. This is an opportunity to play so-called online video slots. Aha! So why not get into gambling? If you're at home with nothing to do, hey, maybe you just want to waste some of your little money, the little that you were able to pile during this whole thing. Maybe you want to gamble that online. Gaming entertainment. Computer games are inevitable entertainment, Jesus, for every internet customer. Right, so play games basically. Viewing memes, this is something that I think is a good pastime, but I wouldn't call it a hobby. Watching Netflix and YouTube videos, yes, if you wanted to see. So these are basically really good ways of doing two things. One, passing the time when you have nothing to do at home and you're stuck at home. And two, getting really, really, really fat. Or just letting yourself go and seeing what happens. Well, reading books online, I would just ask, why online? Why not just reading books? This is a good opportunity to read books. And I was just saying that this is a good way to let yourself go and not really take care of your health and do some exercise. But hey, I'm producing content for YouTube as well, so who am I to talk? Reading books, I think that's a good one. But these are the most fascinating ones, and I think they really tie into what we were just talking about, other possible entertainments. So by sites, there's a really cool Milky Way model out there. And as it says, it's simple, a simply entertaining, relaxing, three-dimensional model of the Milky Way that you can see in detail. So there are some models, actually. I found a couple browsing, so if you look for one, you might enjoy this. The Panorama of Mars. Exactly like the previous point, the panorama of the Mars planet, every user can explore and admire. This is pretty cool. I didn't know this even existed outside of Google Planets or Google Space or Google Universe. I don't know the exact name of the thing. All right, so my favorite is this one, actually. Online webcam feed of the International Space Station. This is the online webcam feed from the ISS, is waiting for space lovers and investigators. Yes, so why does it say investigators? Because there's a common thing that happens in this webcam feed in the ISS, which is when it cuts off, it rarely cuts. The feed is rarely ever cut. But when it does, it's usually because, well, there's something odd that happens on screen. And I'll just leave it at that and let you explore and come to your own conclusions. Online radio. Oh, I actually wanted to, let's see if I can find it. I wanted to show you, if you like odd music, and if you like ambience, sound and music ambience, this is a really good resource, somafm.com. And it has like these, well, they call it online radio stations, but yeah, these are constant feeds of music and ambience that you can choose based on your kind of mood. There was also Pandora. Pandora did that a lot, but Pandora is kind of a what do you call it? It resources a lot of tracks based on your mood. What Soma FM does is it's like a never-ending stream of ambience and music and tones, and it's a really good resource if you like just putting sound on in the background, or if you want to have like your own. Imagine that you're, for example, Space Station Soma. This is one that I use, or that I listen to most frequently on this list, and the Drone Zone as well when I want to, and well, these three, but basically these two here are the ones that I mostly use because it's when I read science fiction, they produce really good environments for science fiction. So yeah, and you have a lot to go through. Like it's not just sci-fi and weird sounds. It had like funky music and 60s music, and yeah. So it has a lot to go through. These are. I have no stake in this, by the way, but they are they are a really good resource for music lovers out there and ambient lovers like I am, and they work on donations. So I have no stake. I'm not shilling for anybody. They're not sponsoring anything. I just really, really like what these guys do, and I wish that they would keep doing it. So if you feel like it's worthy of your pennies, come check it out. Even if you don't think that, maybe you just wanna listen to what they have on here, and trust me, you'll come out a different person, whether you like it or not. You will really like. I think you'll find this interesting. Yeah. This is really worth your time if you like ambience and music. So that was the live stream tonight. Let me know if you liked it in the comments below. Let me know questions that you might have about all the topics that we talked about today. And we talked a lot about UFOs. We talked about a lot about movies and TV shows. Let me know if you are watching Cobra Kai from the beginning, or if you're starting season 4 right now. And let me know what you think about all of that, because I haven't done a review on Cobra Kai, but I have a lot of mixed feelings. Of course, it wins in the nostalgia points, but there are a lot of, what would I call it? There are a lot of things that fall short in the TV series. Now, it's not enough to stop me from watching season 4, but it does produce like the mixed feeling there. And I'm curious to see what do you guys think? What do you guys think of this series, if you've watched it or not? But just let me know. Just let me know, because I'm very curious. I also want to know which of the Christopher Lee movies you enjoyed the most. If you've watched most of them, or if you've watched a lot of them, and also which is your favorite choice for a Spider-Man actor, if you have one, existing or not. Just let me know if you think that if there's someone else out there that would be a pretty good Peter Parker as Spider-Man. I'm very curious to know about that as well. And obviously the UFO situation. I'd be lying if I didn't say that I'm mostly curious about that. So I'm going to end it here, and I hope you enjoy this. Have a really good weekend, and I guess I'll see you next week. Just remember, you are always welcome at the den, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.